This has got to be one of the most exciting moments in One Piece. The moment that this landed, the moment the punch landed for Kuma was the most glorifying thing for Kuma. I don't know how much of mind he has right now, but the build up between when he was young in the fight between him and Jay Garcia Saturn, the moment when everything that Jay Garcia Saturn did to this man, the moment that he needed was that right there. The punch landed and it devastated everybody that seen it because of the fact this young Buccaneer boy rose up to who he is now. This strong young lad who everybody thought was going to be a slave, right? The moment that he escaped God Valley Island, he never thought that he would be right here in this moment, and he took full advantage of it. I said this in King of Lightning stream. It was the build up, and that's why it landed. Plus, Jay Garcia Saturn did not see this coming. He was shocked to even see Kuma there, because when Sabo and the Revolutionary Army took Kuma away from Mary-Joyce, he thought the kill switch that was supposed to take out Kuma happened already. So just to see somebody who's supposed to be unalive right in front of you is throwing a punch at you, it definitely was a surprise attack that Jay Garcia Saturn did not see coming. You can argue about the unexpected, but the surprise attack is definitely one of the best things you can do in a battlefield. Like the same thing happened in Wano when, you know, Straw Hat and Zoro came into the Onigashima Island and Alpo kind of took Luffy them out. It was a surprise attack. I can't say not actually take him out, but a surprise attack is everything, and Jay Garcia Saturn did not see that coming. The build up when Kuma was young, saving people on God Valley, the things that happened to Bonnie, right? The things that happened to Kuma's mother, the things that happened to Clap, Kuma's father, the things that happened to Guinea, right? When he first held, you know, Bonnie in his arms and accepted that I'm gonna be Bonnie's father. Like, those things was a build up, and Jay Garcia Saturn was a hindrance in Kuma's way. You remember that time when Luffy told Doflamingo, nah, you're in my way, that epic moment? This was the moment. Same way that Kuma felt when Luffy felt that way in Dressrosa. And one of the best parts in this manga is to actually see Kuma hold Bonnie, right? Kuma must have no mind right now, but I think Vegapunk hit it on the head. He is driven by love, the love of his daughter, right? We don't know how much an ounce of memory he has of himself, right? We don't know, but at the same time, the way that he's driven is because he wants to save Bonnie. He knows that he can save Bonnie, and he felt like he needed to be there to save Bonnie. Plus, a little side note, Vegapunk was so struck to see exactly how Kuma can move. He's supposed to be a vegetable, right? But Vegapunk was saying something that there's more to the likes of the eyes of the Buccaneers. Mine is their strength, right? That's a plus. We know that Buccaneers are known for their immense body structure and their strength, but there once was renowned by something else, but Vegapunk did not continue saying it. But it's all objective on why Kuma is right here and saving Bonnie. Maybe you think it is love. Maybe you think it's the Buccaneer inside of him that gave him the strength to actually come here and gain his memories back, or some ounce of his brain back. But whatever it is, let's just be glad that Kuma was there to deliver the amazing shot to Jay Garcia Saturn. And when Kuma embraced Bonnie, it was such a loving thing that we all needed. We seen how the flashback came with Kuma and Bonnie. Like, this what Bonnie and Kuma needed. To know that Bonnie read all Kuma's memories was such a delight for this manga chapter. See Kuma with no facial expressions, just wanting to hold Bonnie. That speaks a lot for Kuma, and kind of that he's in his right state of mind. And to see the aftermath of the punch, we see that Jay Garcia Saturn is beat up, cut up, arm came off, horn cut up, but his hyper regenerative rate is amazing. When there was a few of us in King of Lightning's discussion of the chapter, I basically said that it could be a lot of things. One thing about it, I can say, it looks like Jay Garcia Saturn controls time and space, because of this is not a regular regeneration powers. Like, we don't see him coming out with growing out limbs. It's a point where you can see that these bangles are there and they're regenerating around these bangles, right? And then I said maybe he does control, you know, time and space, because he had Frankie and Sanji and the rest of the gang froze like they was in time and they couldn't move. And also the person that can control time can also control space, where you can actually reverse things, right, in the atmosphere. Like where these bangles around, maybe he reversed time and that's how he got his arm back. But then somebody else said in discussion that maybe the body that Jay Garcia Saturn is occupying is probably a shell, and his body is somewhere else where he's astral projecting his brain onto this body, right? Because it seems like nothing actually is hurting Jay Garcia Saturn. And there are key things that Jay Garcia Saturn said in these chapters that basically seem like he never ever, or it could be that he's not been to the surface in so long, so maybe he didn't want to expose his real body because anything could happen. And it's not too crazy. Jay Garcia dialogue been somewhat crazy throughout these manga panels and these manga chapters, because he's making it seem like he's not from Earth at all. He's telling people that's living on Earth are kind of like insects. We know that his higher power anarchy is very high, but the way he's saying things is like he's from a whole different planet. And maybe his powers that he's exhibiting is maybe technology wise, because you know he's a scientist just like Dr. Vegapunk. So it could be a lot of things going on. But in my opinion, I think maybe the ancient Iron Giant, the resources that is powering the ancient Iron Giant that's been awoken by Luffy's drum's liberation, maybe the counter to Jay Garcia's power. That or Luffy Toon Force and Gear 5th can maybe counter it, because of simple fact, it seems like nothing is working with Jay Garcia Saturn. But don't get me wrong, we know that this power cannot last for long. We seen that when he got hit, everybody could move. Just like how Katakuri and Luffy, they can't see the future for too long. Even Shanks can't see the future for a whole 1 minute. But at the same time, there are counters to everybody's power. But this regenerating power is at the top peak I have never ever seen before. The way it looks, the way that Jay Garcia Saturn actually regenerated, it doesn't seem like he's actually regenerating. You know, he's not growing his limb back. It seems like everything is reversing. And maybe all other girls say the 5 elders actually have this power, or maybe it's just a base devil fruit power that Jay Garcia Saturn have. But even Kizaru's laser beam didn't do much to Jay Garcia Saturn. He recovered when Frankie hit him with it, and I can see Kizaru is the strongest right next to Luffy in this island. So the only way that you can counter Jay Garcia Saturn, it could be definitely with Luffy, because that's why I feel like the 5 elders are so scared of Luffy, because everything is possible with Luffy's devil fruit. So it could be Luffy can counter Jay Garcia Saturn's power, and it also could be the Iron Giant that can counter Jay Garcia power. And listen, I don't want the crazy Sanji fans to come out and say, oh, Sanji blocked Jay Garcia Saturn's power, he's the next level up, he's better than Zoro. Listen, man, we know Zoro is lost in action against Jay Garcia Saturn right now, but don't be surprised if Zoro already took out Lucci. This is what Oda actually does, right? We seen what Lucci could do with Luffy. He couldn't even compare to what Luffy could do in Gear 5th, right? So we seen the new feats of Lucci. So we don't need to see Lucci versus Zoro again. We seen what Zoro can actually do in Wano, right? Do not be surprised if Zoro off-screen Lucci, because we already seen what Lucci can do in his new Zoan Awakening form. I'm not gonna lie, Twitter is getting out of hand with this Zoro versus Sanji thing and who's the strongest. I'm pretty sure that everybody know Oda is favoring Zoro almost all the time, but Sanji also get his shine. Don't get me wrong, Sanji is strong. I like both of the characters, but on Twitter, where you can follow me at, y'all are so toxic with it, Zoro and Sanji. I'm not gonna lie. But to continue with the chapter, we see that Kizaru's actually saying, since Kuma is in the mix, where we can say that Kizaru is actually respecting Kuma's powers, right? Kizaru just want to get it done with. It's over and out. Like, you already know that Kizaru actually had a mission, 3 things to do, right? Find a battle station that can help them control Mother Flame and create Mother Flame again and restore Mother Flame powers, right? Take York and assassinate Dr. Vegapunk. With the Buster Call coming through and just demolishing everything on Egghead, and all you need to do is take York, because everything else he doesn't need, and that will actually achieve his mission. And during this last panel, it seems like Jay Garcia Saturn is had it up to here with everything that's transpired. Like, everything is an inconvenience, right? You got Dr. Vegapunk, who's actually secretly studying the Void Century. Then you got this, he's saying that this ancient god has been awoken. He's talking about Luffy, right? Now, this needs to be a cleanse. Like, Jay Garcia Saturn has had it up to here with Egghead. He is even speaking on the Buccaneers in his last panel. Like, I can't wait to know what the Buccaneers did so bad to him, because it seems like they are forbidden for real. Like, he wants to get rid of all of them, and he did it in a nasty way. Now, right now, he's saying that Kuma is the last person of the Buccaneers, the last person surviving race of the Buccaneers. Now, I can't say we just don't know just yet. They thought the Lunarians was gone. We only found out that's one Lunarian, and that's King. But I think there's more Buccaneers out there in hiding, or they've been mixed breeding, right? and trying to hide away from the world government. But in my opinion, I'm pretty sure the Buccaneers was working with Nika or Joy Boy to actually overthrow what we know as the world government, the 5 elders, Emu. That was working together, I feel like, with Nika to take over and do the right thing for the people of the world. Also know the Buccaneers origin comes from the Giants, so we don't know exactly what is mixed with the Giants to create a Buccaneer, but it seems like they're linked and they're definitely familiar with each other. And I can't wait to clarify exactly what the Buccaneers are so special for and what they actually did back then. Aside from their massive strength, I want to know exactly what else they did, what they know remarkable for. Like, it's so much questions around this Buccaneer race that needs to be answered, and I'm pretty sure Oda's gonna answer all of them when it comes to Kuma. Like, hopefully Kuma gets his memory back. But it would be a best thing for Kuma to actually end it all here. It's a must, really. But who's going to tell the Buccaneer story? I want to know, is there another Buccaneer out there in the world? And maybe some of these hidden Buccaneers will come through in Elbaf. Because they're so linked together, we may get the history of the Buccaneers in Elbaf. And it makes perfect sense that that might be the case. So aside from this Buster Call, right? Aside from people that may save the Straw Hats in the Buster Call, Dragon might pull up because he know that Luffy might not survive this Buster Call, so he might have his son. We have the Iron Giant, who's huge and might actually fight off J. Garcia Saturn in the Buster Call for the Straw Hats to get away. And we also have Kuma, who might help the Straw Hats get off this island during the Buster Call. So there's so many things around the death signs of Kuma. Like, Kuma might not make it off this island, but at the same time, we have to understand that there are things in play that will help Kuma get off the island. I want to see what the Iron Giant might just do, because we already know once Luffy used Gear 5th again, like, Luffy's gone. Where Luffy went, they don't know. They don't want to port J. Garcia Saturn, and this is where the mishap happens because of the simple fact these lower lackeys don't want to get in trouble by these big, huge people like J. Garcia Saturn. They needed to report that, but since Luffy is gone, the surprise attack will be good, because when Luffy fight J. Garcia Saturn, it's gonna be a whole nother level of anxiety for J. Garcia Saturn. And I feel like whoever fed Luffy definitely actually got Luffy out of there so he can recuperate, man, because at the same time, it seems like I said, nothing is working between J. Garcia Saturn and attacking him. And I don't just think that he's not going all out. I think he's getting hit on purpose. I think he's not giving his all because that's not his actual body, or maybe he hasn't fought in a long time and he just don't care, that he knows that nobody can really hurt him alongside Luffy. Maybe. I'm so happy that we're not on break. Like, this chapter was so good. This chapter was actually that good for the fans. Like, us fans needed that, and we're not on break, so we're gonna get it next week. And definitely you have to see me in King of Lightning stream on Twitch when he bring out the discussion about the next chapter, chapter 1105. I will be there. Telling you right now, bro, I was so happy getting on stream with King of Lightning and the rest of his other tier 3s. Like, I was so happy to at least talk about One Piece with other people. So happy about that. Like, I was super excited. And this chapter, 10 out of 10. Can't wait for the next one. We actually got to see who actually got Luffy out of there and fed him. That's the biggest mystery. I hope it's some new person, right? And maybe it could be his father. Let's hope it was his father. I would love to see Dragon right here, and Dragon demonstrate his powers and let everybody know that maybe he is the win-win fruit user. That would be so exciting. But at the same time, this chapter was so good. We're not on break. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to get more of me and more One Piece content. Also follow me on Twitter, like I said before. That's where I do some of the animations I got in this video. I show it there on Twitter first. A lot of spoilers on Twitter if you don't know about that. So if you don't like spoilers, don't be on Twitter, or try to avoid Twitter until the actual chapter comes out like I do. All right. Love you. Love yourself. Peace.